Count on Local 3 News for more local stories.
We certainly hope these last days on 3+U have brought you closer to an understanding of what it is like to live with an eating disorder, be the one who loves someone who is living with an eating disorder, and more importantly, giving you some hope to know that you don't have to be alone in that walk. Emily Collier was on our very first episode of this special 3-day event here on 3+U, and she joins us again to wrap it up. You, of course, are kind of the face of the MCR Foundation, so thanks for letting us do this.
Thank you for doing this with us.
The timing is perfect because we kind of engineered it this way. Saturday is your big event, Bowties and Blossoms.
Yeah, it's the 8th annual Bowties and Blossoms. It'll be at Stratton Hall, and it is a fundraising event, but really it's a celebration of all that we do in the community, all of the partners that help us do what we do in the community, those that sponsor us, and just the idea that, kind of a thank you while also raising money for some projects for the next year, but just a way to come together, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of food, dancing with the Mailman Band, and so, yeah, it's a great summer night.
I think what you find, what I have watched in the conversations that we've had throughout these days, with all the different people, and if you've watched every day this week, you know all the different people who've been a part of bringing this to you. When the camera's in, turn off and the conversations continue, the theme that seems to be there is there's so much more we could talk about. There are it's layer upon layer upon layer. So there are families out there, and you know it, Emily, who are walking through this and they don't know where to turn, and they don't realize how common that is, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think and no story is ever the same. Sure, there's some similar themes that run through and some similar kind of symptoms and things like that, but nobody's story is ever the exact same, and so every family has their own unique journey, and a lot of times when you're in the middle of that journey, you don't know what to do, who to ask, where to go, where to get support from, what exactly is really happening, how is this unfolding. So I think, I think there are, I say this all the time, but it's true. I've never met anybody that doesn't know somebody that is struggling or has struggled with an eating disorder. So yeah, there's definitely families out there that are walking this very road right now.
And if you've watched and you've noticed that there's kind of this difference, right? We heard from Kate Berube and Carolyn Klein. They have successfully gone through their recovery, and they're on the other side of it. The Robinson family story, obviously a very different outcome, but it was also many years ago. And that's the whole reason the MCR Foundation is here. You heard them be honest about some places where Cammie went that weren't ideal.
Right.
They can see that now. We didn't have the infrastructure to help.
Right.
Now we do.
Yeah. Yeah, you think 18 years ago, if eating disorders are still sort of a taboo subject today, so 18 years ago, they really were, and the resources were fewer, the knowledge was fewer. There were only a handful of places in the country where you could go for treatment. A lot of therapists still, but especially then, don't want to touch this subject because it's tricky, it's layered, it's complicated, it's multifaceted. There's a lot of times co-occurring issues happening, and so. But especially then, there were not many people in Chattanooga in terms of clinicians that wanted to delve into eating disorders. So, which was the whole goal of MCR after they lost Cammie, was to create this place where we can help you get the right resources locally or beyond. If you need to be inpatient somewhere, like we've kind of done some of the research for you, so we can say, hey, this would be a good fit, or this is where you are in the course of your situation. Like, do we need to do something? Is this dire and you need to be inpatient immediately? Can we manage this outpatient with a nutritionist and a therapist? And if so, let me help you get to the right therapist, because now there's several in town that we work with, and each therapist has its own personality as well. And so our job is to kind of help navigate that whole thing. Tell me more about your child, tell me more about what they're interested in, or how they respond, and that helps me kind of know which therapist to recommend for them. So that's why we're here.
When she says helps me understand, she is the person you get.
Yes.
When you call, and you'll talk to each person that calls.
Yes.
To hear their story, because as you said, it's individualized.
Yes.
And you then want to help them get in with the right person.
Correct. Yeah, anytime anybody calls MCR, it's me, and I am a licensed clinician. So I think it's almost like a little mini assessment on the phone in terms of where are we in the situation, you know, where do we need to go from here? And yeah, it's always me that answers.
You kind of get yourself where you're wanting to go, baby step by baby step. So 18 years ago, Jan and Ashley and the Robinson family created MCR. They've plodded along with that Robinson head down for all these years.
Yes.
And now you're able to branch out even more to get the exposure out there. This show has been part of that.
Yeah.
Do you look ahead to this idea in the years to come of how it grows even more to help people?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're always, the goal is always to get more education out, get more resources out. You know, I met somebody the other day, they're like, oh, we didn't even know MCR was here. And part of me is like, oh, we've been here 18 years, but the other part of me is like, but Chattanooga's huge, and if you're not walking this road, you might not know that MCR is here. And so then I get excited to be like, oh, well, then let me tell you about us and, you know, what we do and what we've been doing. But yeah, you're always sort of looking, what's the next thing that we can do? How can we get more information out? Who can we partner with? You know, who can we bring into Chattanooga? That's one of the things that we've tried to do this last year, is bring in a speaker. And we will do that in years to come, is who can we partner with, and what education who can we reach out to and bring in to sort of educate the community. And of course, it's all free. I mean, that's the goal too, is that we're here to be a resource to the community and beyond for free.
So if you want to be a part of the fun, go ahead and get your ticket while you can. In fact, you can even come to the event that night and possibly get in.
Yes, you can purchase tickets at the door. And yeah, it's a great night, Stratton Hall, 7 o'clock on the 29th. We even have, every year we have a signature bow tie, Wilson and Bow, that's local in Chattanooga. And this year we did a new color scheme. So if you don't have a bow tie, that's not a problem. You can get one at the door this year. They're navy blue with little red ladybugs, really cute. So yeah, it's just a fun way to support, a fun night out. So join us.
And if you are looking for some support, if you are walking the walk with an eating disorder, please reach out to them at the MCR Foundation, their website there on your screen. Thanks, Emily.
Thank you, Julie.